first things first, I'm going to rub all over them, because yesterday it was a good day, but you've always got to start from the very beginning. It's like a new day, new brain. Horses are always one step back after they've had a day off. So you always got to start a little bit behind from what you ended yesterday. You can't just pick up where you left off. You can't just pick up where you left off, Amici. Yeah. So I've got the mounting block here. So we're going to use the first level first. So it'll be the less fright. See how he raises his head like that? Just keep rubbing. Just keep rubbing. I just saw a bee go past, so hopefully it didn't sting us. Just keep rubbing him. Good boy. Okay, so we're going to jump off. We're going to just step away for a second. And we're going to jump back on. And every time we jump back on, we don't want him to raise his head just like he did there. So I'm going to get off and I'm going to see if I can do that again without him raising his head. Okay, so he tensed, his body tensed towards me here and his head went up. We're going to do it again. And keep doing this until he just starts relaxing a little bit. See? Didn't tense as much there. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going to step back down. Good boy. And we're going to step back up. And tense towards me again, that's alright. You're going to have progress and you're going to have setbacks. It's completely normal. We're going to step back down, step back up. Head raised up again, that's fine. As I said, this horse has a very severe mounting problem, so we want to take it really slow, eh, buddy? Really slow, eh, Mickey? Good boy. And step down. Good boy, so you didn't flinch as much there, which is the other side. So we're going to step off in this direction. Good boy, and we're going to step up in this direction. See? Raise of the head. Doing this side and this side is like two different brains. You've got to do it both sides. Good boy, and step up. Still a little bit of a raised head there, that's alright. His offside is where he's most funny, so that's why I've decided to start with this today, to make sure I get plenty of time on this side. Because yesterday I spent quite a lot of time on the other side. Not as much on this one, eh, buddy? So we're going to step back up. Got raised head just there, that's alright. We're going to step back down. Step back up. Step back down. See, his head raises when his head lowers when I get off, but it raises when I get back up. Good boy. That was slightly better. That was better, ain't it? So we're going to jump back down, and his head is going to lower a little bit, just like that. Still raises quite a lot, but it doesn't jerk up as it was before. Step off this side. I'm going to step back up. See? He kept his head at the same angle just then. That was really good. I'm going to step off. going to step back up. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Step off this way. Pat his head just right away from his back. Good boy. Ears forward. That's a very good sign. Legs not completely touching the ground there. So he's more relaxed at this angle because this is the angle I obviously can't get on. When I stand at this angle, he tenses up a little bit more because that's where I'm going to jump up. Good boy. So the next thing I want to do is jump back off, move the mountain rock away, walk away for a second, walk back, hit him, and we're going to flex him. So just bump his halter, just bump his nose right off the halter, so keep going until he gives it to you. Don't stop until his nose touches his stomach. The second it does, good boy, release it. If you release it just the right time, that's what you want. If you release it at the wrong time, it's not going to work. So we're going to do it again 5 or 6 times. Just keep bumping the pressure off. Eventually he's going to get it. Yeah, eventually. Make sure he brings his head the entire way round. So he's trying to take shortcuts there. There. See? Don't let him just bring his head to here. He needs to touch his stomach. So his nose around his girth line somewhere. So we'll do that one more time. Just keep bumping the pressure off. Keep going until he listens. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. So now that we've got the first level of the mountain rock, flexing a bit, nice and relaxed, and move the mountain rock over. See that flinching is just annoying with the slope. So we're going to start off by flexing him. Just keep bumping him. That's the way, keep bumping him. There we go. So it might take him a little bit longer just to get that, that's alright. Okay, so now that we've flexed him, we want to step up onto the first level. See how he raised his head? Just going to keep rubbing him until he relaxes a bit. Be very careful that he doesn't run into you or knock you over because this is a very vulnerable position to be in. Make sure you're looking all around. So step back down, step back up. Good boy. Now we're going to keep rubbing him, but we're slowly going to step onto the second level. Here we go. Didn't raise his head too much there. Just going to move this mountain just a little bit closer. Step back down because he's flinching. So yesterday I had quite a curvature, so I was kind of like this when I stood up. Today, in order to progress, I'm going to stand straight up like this. So it's just baby steps each day. It looks like the same thing, but we are getting somewhere with them. The back end is where he's most worried about. Make sure you spend lots of time there. Now that we're on the second level, you don't want to flex him while you're on any of these because he's going to associate this with the rein contact and he's going to think you're gathering up your reins, so you're going to get locked. You don't want him to think that just yet. You just step up onto the third level like that without him sort of noticing too much. And he's a bit nervous, jump back down. And flex him again. Just bump him off the halter. Good boy. Step back up. Good boy. Lean down if you have to, just to get him to relax. And step back up without him noticing too much. There we go. See that? Third level. So there's 3 levels to most mounting blocks, and you want one that does have 3 levels because this will allow you to get much higher. Just massage his neck like that. Rub his mane. Most horses quite like that. Good boy, so step down. So now that we've worked with the other side, we're going to go back to this side. A lot of this is just going to be repetition. So I'm going to swing the rope, put it back over here. Always make sure you desensitize the horse to your tools first. It's no good me going like that if he's just going to take off. Always desensitize them. I actually spent all morning desensitizing him using a whip and a plastic bag, a carrot stick, a lunge whip, and this. So the key to desensitizing a horse, especially with sticks, smack it on the ground really hard, get your arm going in a good motion. He's going to run at first, he's going to go a bit crazy, probably pull you around the paddock, but you only take the pressure off when he stops moving. So the key to that, so when he stops moving, you wait 15 seconds for him to relax, to give you a sign of relaxing. So that could be the foot, he could be chewing, ears forward, lowering his head. If he doesn't give you a sign, but he stands still for 15 seconds, rub him with the thing anyway and take the pressure off. Some horses will stand still and relax, but they won't show it in their outer body expression. So you just want to reward him with that anyway. It's really important to throw a lot of things at your horse that aren't going to hurt him. So now we're going to put that over. We're going to flex him a couple of times. Just keep bumping him off the halter until he listens. Yep, so always give him his head when he does that. So we don't want him to try and pull it away so fast, so we want to work on that again and see if we can get him to just let it go gradually. Yep, and then we just want to let it slide through our hands, just like that. You don't want them to get in the habit of snatching their heads away from you at the first chance they get. We're going to go back on this side. We're going to get the mounting block. So make sure there's about 5 centimetres between the mounting block and the horse, just so that you've got room to push yourself back and you don't get caught in between them. And we always want to make sure that the lowest level is facing them first. We don't want to start at the highest levels because that's starting from the top, and we want to start at the bottom. We're going to get back up. That was really good. He didn't raise his head just then, he just kept it at the ground, chewing, kind of resting one leg. Yawning. We're going to get off, we're going to flex him. If it takes flexing him 1,000 times to get him to relax, do it. Horses need to be able to flex, it's absolutely essential. So we're going to put the two top ones back, so they're facing him, 5 or so centimetres between the block and the horse. I'm going to flex them again. Bump him off that halter pressure. Yep. Release it as soon as he touches the stomach. If he steps back, probably just trying to itch himself, just like that. We just want to move him forward just a little bit. Just one hoof. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. And the aim of this is to see if we can get one of those legs resting, some chewing, some yawning, ears forward, neck lowered. See how we stepped onto the highest one just then and he didn't raise his head any more than it already was? That's very good. So rub all over him. Rub all over him. Make sure you're in a position on the mountain block where you're not going to fall off the edge. I'm probably a bit too close to the edge, so just stand in the centre of it, just in case he moves. Never underestimate a horse just because he's standing still like this. They can go from 0 to 12 in a second. Hey boy. A horse can go from sleeping to a lightning storm just like that. So you've got to really just rub all over him. Step down. Flex him. Sometimes it helps to click. There you go. Don't let him just put his head at his shoulder, he's got to touch his stomach. See how he didn't raise his head too much there, it's still at a nice horizontal angle. We want to see if we can get this 180 or lower. So 180 degrees or lower. So 180 is always a straight line. So either straight or under straight, but we don't want it higher than this. We want to keep it nice and relaxed like that. So we step off. See, we did that too fast and he freaked out, so we've got to be very mindful of him. So he will get nervous. And normally after they've freaked out a bit like that, it takes them a few minutes just to get back to where they were. So step down, flex them, yeah. So he's trying to take shortcuts by only touching almost to his stomach, so we want to make sure we bring it all the way around. Back up. Back up, so he raised his head, so I kept rubbing all over him. Rubbing all over him. Just rest your arm along him. He's slightly leaning away from me just there, so I want to bring him back. Now he's resting that leg. So he might not have his head lowered, but he's still showing one sign of relaxing. So one sign is better than none, no boy. Step up. Just step back down to the second, so we're in line with his back, and we just want to put our arm over him. Always just start with one arm first. And it really helps to talk while you're doing this because your voice relaxes the horse. Animals tend to, prey animals, when they're in complete silence, they tend to look for noises they can't actually hear. So they wait for noises that don't actually exist. So if you talk a lot, that'll distract them from any potential things that could scare them outside of what we're doing here. want to see if we can get him a little bit more relaxed before we put any pressure back on him. There we go, so lowering the head there. Lowering the head there. It's really good. So he's not got those back hooves completely on the ground. It's really good. His ears aren't completely back, so they're forward now. We want to see if we can keep them like that. Just want to put one arm over. Keep rubbing. Keep rubbing. So it's going to step back like that because I put too much pressure on him. So all we're going to do is move him forward. Okay. Mickey is quite stiff off his halter pressure, so we're going to have to work on that. Step back up. Head back to that level you wanted it at. So we want it at 180 or lower. I'm going to focus on his back end as well, not just his front end. If you're going to fall off a horse, chances are you could go over his back. You don't want him to freak out if something touches his back. Step up to the third level again. Step back down to the second, the first, walk away. So now that's given him a minute to rest, walk back up to him. Start off with his head. You don't want to just walk straight up to his back because you're basically saying that you're about to do something. You want to just come up and act like you want to be friends. Remember to never sneak around the horse because then I think you've got a hidden intention. Because right now he doesn't trust us, so we have to give him every reason why he needs to trust us. The easiest way to do that is just to be his friend. Hey. Hey. Rub all around his ears because horses' heads are where they're most worried about things touching. All around there. Start off by flexing him. Bump the pressure off. Good boy. Yep. Get on this. Good boy. I want to just slowly step up. Good boy. He's got a bit of an infection up here. It's not very good, eh, buddy? So if he steps away, just rock and lead him back. There we go. Step away, get off and lead him back. Just rub all over him. Just rub all over him. All over him. I find that if you rub him in the same place when you go to stand up, it's really helpful. He doesn't chuck his head up as fast. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. Good boy. Now we're not leaning on him. Do not lean on the horse. Just put your arm around him and get really close to his back. By doing this, we're just giving him the feeling of about to get on. So mounting is a stage. You put your leg up, you put some weight on, you get on. Well, this is kind of like the leaning over him stage, without the weight coming from the stirrup. See how he's not looking at me there? That's a really good sign. So once he's fine with one hand, there's two. And both of those over him. Make sure all your weight is on the mounting block. So that if he does take off, you're just going to be left standing here. Or you're going to fall backwards. You're not going to go with him. Yep, just get slowly closer to his back. Yep, now I'm kind of resting on him. Yep. Do the same thing with the other hand. Make sure you keep a good look at his face, because that's going to tell you if he's about to take off or not. So hop back down. Good boy. So now that we've got him a bit more relaxed on his off side, we're going to switch to the mounting side. Just slowly bring this round. You couldn't speak too much to this as we've been hiding it all around him the past day or so. Yep, so if he wants to sniff him, let him have a good look. If you allow him to investigate it, he might feel a bit better about it. Oh boy. Yep, so all around it. There's nothing in there you can eat. He's probably thinking whether it's got some feed in it. So the rope's caught under here, so just pull that out. Push this over. I always start with the lowest side. So 3 levels, you can use the lowest one. Alright buddy, here come. Push that into him like that. Make sure you keep a slight distance between you and the horse, just so that you have somewhere to stand if he runs off. So we're just going to move it away a bit. Bring this round. Bring this round. Okay, so we're going to start off by flexing. So always chuck the rope over the horse. And just bump him off the halter. Just keep going until he does it. Don't take the pressure off until they give you some release. Yep, there we go. Well done. Always release it as soon as he touches his stomach. So just rub all over him. We're going to flex him again. The goal with this flexing is to try and get him as light as a feather. There we go. I should be able to just go like that and he'll bring his head right around. Plenty of practice. Keep practicing until he listens. Always release it when he gives it to you. That's the way. So now that he's yawning, I'm just going to jump up here. Here he raises his head like that. Pay lots of attention to his ears, because they're going to tell you what his next move is. So we're rubbing all over him, and I'm on the first level of the mountain block. And don't forget his back end. You've got to desensitize him his back as well. Rub all under his stomach. Now he's breathing out his nostrils. And his ears are full. That's a good sign. All around his body. Yep, if he wants to have a look, you let him. If his head is turned, he's not thinking about running, because there's no way a horse can go straight if the head is not straight, which is a good thing. And the reason we teach him to flex is because when we eventually do go to get on, we're going to have his head bent and that way when we do get on, the worst he can do is run in a circle because his head is already bent to us. We can't take off in a straight line, just go round in a circle, and then we'll have someone on the ground to redirect his feet if he does do anything silly. Yep, so jump down, and he's been good for a minute or so. So he's sweating a bit in his hindquarters here. So before I bring him out to the arena, I actually did about 20 minutes of groundwork with him. So lunging, a bit of join up. You want to make sure you've got good control of your horse on the ground before you jump on their back. He doesn't even notice this, but he notices when I put my arm around him. His ears are forward, which is a really good sign, and I am sort of leaning on him. So yesterday I didn't have any contact between my body and the horse. Today I am leaning sort of on him. We don't want to push him too fast, never get cocky about it and think, oh yeah, he's standing still and he's going to be good, because the second you go to get on, it's going to be a whole different story. So he's been good. So we step away for a second. Yep, and he looks in the direction we're going to look. And we step back. And we're going to turn the mounting block till the top two upper levels are facing his body. We're going to start off with the second highest, but first we're going to flex him. Yep, so good boy. Bump him off the halter. Never take the pressure off, good boy, until they give you that head. Otherwise you're teaching them, they can just get away with not doing that. Yep, so chewing, licking his lips, it's all a good sign. Ears forward. We want to see if we can get one of his legs resting. But right now he's yawning, so that's a good thing. So we're just stepping up onto the first level again. Just because we've already done the first level doesn't mean you start automatically at the higher ones. Always just start with these. Yep. And we're going to step up one more without him noticing too much. Keep your hands on his neck. That's the way. See, we want to keep his ears as forward as much as possible. See him lowering his head? That's a good sign. Yawning. So we want this neck to stay at that nice angle there. We don't want it up high like a stargazer. We just want nice and relaxed. Hey buddy. Oh, sorry. Smacked him in the face. That's probably not a good thing, is it? Just rub it there. If he brings his head round to you, rub him. Because it's him giving you his head is a sign that he wants to be with you, but he's just a bit shy to ask, so rub him. Show him it's alright to be with you. Okay. Rub all over him. Rub all over him. Rub all over him. Make sure you rotate your body so you're facing all angles of the horse. Yes, it's having a good sniff of my legs just there. Don't bite me. That's alright. Let him have a look at you. Rub all over him. Right now his neck is at a pretty good angle. He's kind of got it drooping, he's chewing, ears are forward. Not resting a leg, but he's not standing as if he's going to take off. The horse will be a lot more relaxed if his legs are square like that and one of them's resting. If he's got one leg kind of uneven, it probably means he's looking to take off. See, lifting up that leg just there. It's a really good sign. So his leg is resting, got a bit of a tail swish, ears are forward. So he's quite happy, and I'm on the third level. So what I'm going to do is get off, hit him and walk away. Still resting that leg, so you want to flex them first. Always flex them before you do anything with them. Good boy. Want to flex them again. Always teach them to flex in the halter before you move on to the bridle. Most horses flex better in a bridle, but they need to be able to do it in a halter as well. There you go. And one more time. Remember, the key is to get them as light as a feather, and the only way we're going to do that is through a lot of repetition. Good boy. So we're going to move this a little bit closer, and we're going to see if we can put out both arms over him and our stomach's pressed against his side. If he doesn't let you, that's alright. Just take it a step back. Okay, we want to keep his head at that angle. He's probably going to raise it a bit because he's nervous. That's alright. There we go. So no change in his ears just there. So he's resting that other leg. That's really good. Yawning. We've got two hands over him. And we want to get up to that third level. Just nice and slow, don't rush it. Nice and slow. And that's the way, just a tiny bit of weight on him, just a couple of, just your arm. Then we're going to step back down to the second level. And we're just going to not lean on him, just let him feel our stomach. So, with our arm over him like that. So he's got a bit of an irritation up here, so we're just going to not touch that area. We're just going to be careful of that. If he wants to have a look at you, that's fine. Alright, buddy. And my hands are disgusting again, eh, Mickey? That's not good, is it, baby? So we're just going to press our stomachs against his side. Not hard, just let him feel it. And keep rubbing on him. Keep rubbing on him. Make sure that you're in a position where if he runs off, you can push your body backwards and not forwards. So we're going to jump off. Step away for a second. Yep, and he's going to look where we are. I'm going to move back. I'm just going to push this over a bit so the highest level is in line with his withers. And see how I can slowly step up to this faster? I don't have to work my way up as much as yesterday. That's what we want. And it's just still a little bit far away, so we're going to step back down. Step, and we're going to see if we can go right up to the high level, just like that, and he didn't raise his head too much. It's really well done. We're going to put some little bit of weight on him, so we're not on him, we're just letting him feel our weight. Make sure that this leg is straight, because if this one's straight, you can just push yourself back. Keep this one bent. If both of them are straight and you're like this, if he takes off, you're pretty much going to go with him or fall in between him and the mountain block. Make sure you're looking all around because he needs to be desensitized in every direction. Just resting that leg again. No, good. Move up to his neck. We don't want to just focus on his back, we want to do his neck as well. That's good, he's having a good look at that. So step down, walk away. Walk back. You reward him by taking the pressure off. Taking the pressure off in this situation is walking away from him. I'm going to step back up and he's still resting that leg. even as we moved up, he didn't put it back down. So you're just going to lean on him like this. Just lean on him like this. Just lean on him like this. Just going to push this a little bit closer. Step back down. We want to be able to get to the stage where we can step 1, 2, 3 up and he stands there just the same. There's no difference in the horse. That and tensed up. Okay, we want to step back down. Always step down 1, 2, 3 instead of jumping off the top level. Then it's a gradual difference down. It's not just like disappearing. Okay, step back up. Step back down. A lot of horses you can just gradually start putting weight on the backs. Horses like these you need to desensitize them to the mounting block as well. So step back up. We want to get him used to the motion of us getting above him. So step back down. Step back up. Rub all over. Good boy. Good boy. Just want to put our arm over him like this. I'll put both arms over him. Always keep one leg straight and one bent so you can push yourself off the horse if you have to. Good boy.